Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WWE News with Rumors. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Hodge. This video is brought to you by SeatGeek. So if you guys are looking for tickets for any event in the entire world, doesn't have to be related to wrestling, go ahead, use SeatGeek, use code Hodge on your first order, and save yourselves $20 freaking off of your tickets. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to kick this off with the first news story. We're not going to waste any time today. So the first news story is about Monday Night Raw. So today's Tuesday, so Raw was last night. I don't know how many of you actually was able to watch the show live. I, for one, did not watch the show live. I was not able to watch the show live, and apparently a lot of people have been linked at recently. And nonetheless, this is about the Raw ratings. Raw ratings are absolutely horrible. No one's watching Raw. That's a huge problem right now. So Raw, for a while, would pull in amazing ratings. It was like the greatest show in the world to watch every single week, but now that's just not the case. So basically, let me break the horrible news here. Last night's Raw only had 1.6 million viewers. That is nothing. That is absolutely nothing. Raw used to always, at the very lowest, it would always pull in 3 million at least, if not, getting into those very high millions of viewers. You would, like, when Raw was like on fire, of course, decades ago, it would pull in like 10 million viewers a week or something like that. But when a solid episode of Raw never had a problem breaking like 5 million viewers. And then it would never go below 3 million in any situation. But now we're at 1.6 million viewers. This is like very, very, very low. I know the interest in WWE and the interest in wrestling right now is probably the lowest of, close to the lowest of the entire year, because we're right after WrestleMania. Like, WrestleMania is the big, huge thing everyone wants. Then WrestleMania is over with, and now what? Well, we got the Raw after Mania. That's cool. Let's watch that. Then after that, it pretty much falls off, and no one is watching like these shows every single week. Things start to heat back up around Money in the Bank time, around SummerSlam time, but that in-between time is absolutely horrible. So basically, this past week's Raw, 1.6 million viewers. Week before, 1.65 million viewers, so slightly lower this week it was. The week before that, we got 1.8 million viewers, and the week before that, I believe, was the Raw after Mania. It only got 2 million viewers. It's kind of really, really low for a Raw after Mania. But anyway, yeah, Raw is suffering right now. SmackDown's numbers are actually quite a bit higher than this, but Raw is suffering now. I, for one, personally, am not watching Raw live. If something happens on Raw that I actually, would want to see, I'm going to see it on social media. I'm going to see a highlight video somewhere, right? I'm one of those people who's like, social media kind of tells you if anything happens to the show, because there's no need to sit through a 3-hour wrestling show. Personally, it's kind of hard for me to free up 3 hours of my entire day, because usually I'm always go, and I have so many things going, literally all times of the day and night. So it's kind of hard for me to sit through a 3-hour show. So if anything happens, it's going to be like a highlight video on YouTube, where I'm going to see it on Twitter or something like that. So personally, I'm not really watching Raw live. It's not that high up on my list, unless it's like a special Raw, like before or after a pay-per-view. But yeah, Raw is kind of really suffering and really in trouble with those record low viewers. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was the only confirmed news story we had to talk to you guys about today. But now, go ahead and get your juice boxes out, get your juice boxes ready, because ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to talk about some juicy rumors. So the first rumor is about Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt, of course, released by the WWE. There's been a lot of rumors about what's going on with him. Apparently, he has a very, very high asking price to go somewhere and wrestle, and that's why AEW hasn't brought him in or anything like that. And maybe he's holding out for maybe a WWE return or something. Basically, they released him, but they didn't want to pay him to do nothing. I mean, he was not mentally okay, and they wanted him to get help. They didn't want to pay. I feel like they could have done something else other than just fire the guy, though. It's kind of like, I feel like there's something else there. Basically, this rumor is about Bray Wyatt's contract and how much he was actually making in the WWE before he was fired. Like, of course, he had a really, really great gimmick, and I was like, this is going to go down. It's like one of the greatest gimmicks, like, in the past, like, few decades. Like, this is great. This is great. It's going to be like the Kane of this decade or whatever. But it was a really, really good gimmick, and WWE saw that, and they rewarded him. So basically, Bray was making $4 million a year before they released him. That puts him very high up on the WWE list of, earnings or whatever, compared to other wrestlers and stuff like that. He's very high up, very close to the top. $4 million a year, that's very hefty, and I can see why he's wanting a lot of money to go to another wrestling company, because he was making $4 million a year. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Bray. I'm thinking and I'm hoping that WWE are going to re-sign him and not really let this mistake like ruin everything. But yeah, Bray was making $4 million a year. That's what his contract was, apparently. Alright, the next rumor is about Ronda Rousey. So it's about this Ronda Rousey-Charlotte feud. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte at Backlash. It's an I Quit match. for the Women's Championship. So basically, who's winning this? Like, what's going on? Well, apparently WWE's thinking is they're not booking, you know, a former UFC fighter in an I Quit match to have them lose. So basically, Ronda Rousey will be winning the title, apparently, is the current plan. Ronda Rousey will be our brand new SmackDown Women's Champion. That is the plan at Backlash. And there are no more rematch clauses, so Rousey and the title will be going on to somewhere else to do something else with someone else. So basically, what's the plan for Charlotte? Well, we have a newly returning female superstar that needs someone to work with, and apparently Charlotte's going to be filling this role. So Charlotte will be facing Lacey Evans after this feud, after she drops the title to Rousey, is the current plan. So yeah, Ronda Rousey will be the brand new champion at Backlash, is what this rumor is saying. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the final news, this will be the final thing I'll be talking about inside this episode of WWE News and Rumors. So this is about Austin Theory, or maybe it's just Theory now. I don't know why they're doing this. I really don't know why everyone just has one name now. I mean, I guess not everyone does, but you know, a lot of people that have had the two name thing, they've dropped the name and just turned them into something else, you know. So yeah, this is I'm not a big fan of it, but basically what I want to talk about here about Austin Theory is what the hell is going on with this guy? Like, I have not saw Vince McMahon on screen every single week with a wrestler since, like, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, Vince McMahon obviously behind the scenes really likes this guy, really likes Austin Theory. So what's behind the scenes thing about this? What is the update? Well, basically, Vince McMahon sees Austin Theory as like a young John Cena. That's kind of Vince's thinking right now. I mean, I know John Cena was very rough around the edges back when Cena was just first coming in. He was wrestling in, you know, in trunks or whatever, and I think he had like kick pads on or something at some point. So it's kind of rough around the edges, and you know, everyone evolves as a wrestler, as a superstar. And Vince just sees something in this guy. I mean, Vince is obviously a genius in the wrestling business, so maybe he does actually see something. I just know there's a lot of fan, I don't want to say a lot, but there is some fan backlash against the whole Austin Theory thing because he does have some allegations against him or whatever. So I'm not getting into that because people are so divided on that kind of thing. But basically, that's a hurdle to get over. But if we're not looking at that, we're not looking at, you know, here on the show, I try not to get into personal things unless it's really crazy. But I mean, it can be crazy. But basically, let's just look at him as a professional wrestler, right? Let's not look at his personal. Let's just look at him as an actor and he's playing this character. Let's look at the character. Let's look at the ability of the character, the ability of the wrestler. He is a good wrestler, and he's definitely going to evolve and get even better. So we'll definitely have to wait and see where this is going to go. But Vince sees something that not everyone sees, and Vince is going to be pushing this guy very heavily. Now, I'm not saying he's going up against Roman or anything like this. I believe the way Vince sees this guy right now is he's very rough around the edges. He's not going to be pushed into a giant star this year, maybe not even next year, but maybe like 5-10 years down the line when, you know, a lot of these higher up guys that we're used to seeing growing up, like me growing up and seeing wrestle, they're going to be done, they're going to be retiring, they're going to be moving into a different role in the wrestling business. And Austin Theory's going to step up and have that kind of main event, carry the company kind of role, like years upon years down the line. That's not saying he's not doing anything now. Like, the guy is the United States champion. Like, he's doing stuff, but to be pushed all the way to the main event, I don't know timetable, but that's basically how Vince sees the guy. Like, he's a young John Cena. He's got a lot of work, a lot of figuring himself out to do, but he has a lot of potential, and Vince wants to work with him and make him as great as he possibly can be. So that is Vince's thoughts on Theory, if you will. So ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much going to do it for this episode of WWE News Rumors. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I have all kinds of fun content coming to the channel this week, so make sure to subscribe and come out to the channel every day and check out the new content if you're not already subscribed to the core. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching this video. I am your king of vlog stuff, Brandon Hodge, and I will see you guys in the next video.